What's good, fight fans? Your Majesty speaking. Um, I'm a little late to the party. I was supposed to do this yesterday, but I had some internet troubles, so I'm getting to it today. Um, Joseph Parker versus Fabio Wardley was one of the best. I'm not gonna say exciting, but it was like back and forth heavyweight fights that I've seen in a long time. And I know a lot of times we get caught up in the big names. If it got to be Wilder versus Joshua, it got to be Tyson versus Holyfield, it got to be Lennox Lewis versus who knows. But I'm one of those fight fans who actually just love boxing, and I'm always excited when I can come across a fight where it's not a bunch of big names. Of course, Parker is a name that a lot of people know in the heavy when it comes to the heavyweight fighters, but Fabio Wardley isn't. And he actually got a pretty decent story. Really no amateur experience. Started boxing late. A bunch of power in the right hand. Man, that fight, I'm gonna start off as far as like I like Joseph Parker because, as you can see, I did a video maybe a week or two ago about Erickson Lubin being the Sean Porter of this generation. And when I say that, I mean it in a sense of a person who will just fight. It don't matter. They're not picking and choosing. They're not trying to cherry pick to see if they can get an advantage here. If the fight come available, they taking it. Sean Porter was one. Erickson Lubin is another one. And Joseph Parker seems to be in that same realm of fighter where they not tripping off of what the name is. Like Parker done been in there with Big Bang Zhang, Wilder, Joshua. He was supposed to fight Daniel Dubois, but I think he pulled out on the same card that Shakur Stevenson and Kid Schofield had. And I honestly think that he's one of those guys who will fight whoever. And I absolutely feel like he was robbed of an opportunity last night or yesterday midday, because I thought that the stoppage came way too fast. Now, granted, let me say this. I do know that as a boxer, you have to make the referee feel like you are still in the fight. And Joseph Parker didn't really do himself any favors as far as making the referee feel that way. Now, I feel like the referee being the third man in the ring, you should know when somebody is hurt, but they still trying to figure shit out. Or let me say they still trying to finagle their way. Maybe he realizes we've been fighting this round for about 2.5 minutes. Let me try to finagle my way to the bell until I can get my faculties together. Versus a fighter that's just hurt and helpless. I don't think Joseph Parker was in a state where he was hurt and helpless. I also feel like he was robbed because if you look at the flow of the fight, I thought Joseph Parker dominated the first round. I thought Fabio Wardley dominated the second round. And then Joseph Parker kind of went on. Maybe I gave Wardley the third round as well. But after that, I think Parker kind of swept maybe all the way up to maybe about round 9. And then Wardley had a big round where it looked like Parker might have been out on his feet. And he weathered the storm and he made it to the end of the round. Which is the reason why I'm saying, as the referee being in there and watching that fight, I believe he should have known that Joseph he's buzzed, he's hurt, he may even be hurt, but he's not to the point where he can't defend himself. If you go back and look at the sequence of punches that was thrown, a lot of the stuff Joseph Parker was actually showing, like dipping down, getting out, fading out, getting out of the way. punches was missing. And I know that's the one thing I hate about referee stoppages, because a fighter can just go wild, and most of the time the referee gonna stop it. Like, I would much rather referees understand what the hell they watching and not just stop about like that, because I really believe that you guys robbed Joseph Parker of a victory, because as soon as the ref stopped the fight, Fabio Wardley fell to the ground. So it's like, who knows what would have happened if he weathered that storm, and maybe Fabio Wardley shoot his load, and Parker can come back and work out on him. So I'm disappointed in the ending, but it was a beautiful fight. Because even though I felt like Joseph Parker was winning majority of the rounds, they weren't super dominant rounds where it's like, oh, he beating the shit out of him. It's more like, he won that round. Okay, here he edged that round out. He edged that round out. And so I thought it was a very competitive fight, even though I had Joseph Parker winning most of the rounds. I definitely, as I can see from the post-fight interview, Wardley probably ain't looking into giving Joseph Parker no rematch, because I don't want to question his character or say he don't want that, but you don't want to take a Joseph Parker rematch when you possibly could have lost the fight, when you got Alexander Usyk lined up for all the marbles. And so I do understand why we may not get a Joseph Parker rematch, but I definitely think that is what should be next. Although I know the business of boxing and I know that ain't how it works. I also feel like he got the nod because that's who they wanted to move forward. And I'm not the type to kind of cry conspiracy all the time, but it kind of felt like it last night. And so I just want to give a shout out to actually both of those guys, but I want Joseph Parker to continue moving forward. I don't know, I can't speak for the rest of the world, but I love seeing Joseph Parker fight. I've seen him fight multiple different ways. I've seen him fight aggressive. I've seen him fight off the back foot. I've seen him fight a plethora of different ways. And for me, being a huge boxing fan, especially a fan of heavyweight boxing, Joseph Parker is definitely good for the sport. I think Fabio Wardley is good for the sport. I can't wait to see Moses Atama start to mix it up with these guys, and Caballel and all of these guys, because heavyweight boxing is what got me into the sport. When I was a jit, and Holyfield and Bo and Tyson and Frank Bruno, and Bo was getting low blowed every other punch from Andrew Galata. That was what brought me into the sport. Of course, yeah, I had the Roy Joneses of the world and the Oscar De La Hoyas and the Sweet Pea Whitakers, but it was heavyweight boxing that brought me into that sport and made me the fan of the sport that I am today. So I just wanted to pop on, give my honest review and thoughts of the fight. I thought it was an amazing fight. I wish they would have a rematch, because I would love to see it again. And I would love to see, I don't know what happened with Jarrell Miller. I think he was supposed to fight Jarrell Miller. I would have loved to see them two mix it up, because I know Jarrell Miller take a great punch. He normally got a good gas tank. He gonna weigh on you. I would have loved to see Fabio Wardley in that type of fight, to see how he handled somebody that was 300 pounds, 300 plus pounds. And even though I don't think that would have prepared him for Usyk, because Usyk is totally different. I honestly don't even think Joseph Parker prepared him for Usyk. It's really nobody in the heavyweight division that you can get to prepare you for Usyk. So it was just me. That would have just been me being a boxing fan and wanting to see it for my own selfish reasons. But let me know what y'all think in the comments. Did the referee stop the fight early? Do you think it was a good stoppage? Who did you have winning? Did you think Joseph Parker was winning? Did you think Fabio Wardley was winning? Also in the comments, do y'all think Fabio Wardley got a shot against Alexander Usyk? I don't know. I guess we shall see. If you have not followed me yet, please subscribe, hit the like button, and hit the notification bell so that you can be notified when I drop future videos. Also, if you have not followed me on my social media accounts, please do. They are in front of you. And until next time.